All right, so I'm on the Laravel documentation page. So the first thing you want to go ahead and do is head over and click on your Laravel first project. Then you can go ahead and copy this particular code because you are going to be creating a Laravel project. So open your terminal, you can do Windows R or click on your start bar and search for command prompt. So what you want to do is seal into the document, into where you want to create your project. So I'll basically want to create my project in documents / my YouTube folders. So you can create your project anywhere you want to create it. Once that is done, go ahead and paste your code and the command then you can go ahead and name your project. I'm just going to name this Laravel auth. Alright, so click enter, then this is actually going to start creating the project. And you have to make sure that you have internet connected, because if you don't have internet connection, it's not going to work. So let's wait for this to finish up. Alright, you can see the project has been created already. What you cannot do is Alright, so welcome to this section. Now to install TBCSS, you saw me the tbcss.com website. Then I'm using documentation, then installation. So once you are here, you're not going to be using this. You're going to click on the framework guides, and you can see there's Laravel here. Click as Laravel. So the first thing is to send us to create a project, which we have done already. CD, we have already done that. So what we want to start from is this place. Go ahead and copy this. So this is going to install TBCSS, PostCSS, and auto prefixer for us. So go to your terminal, let's go ahead and create another one. So we can go ahead and paste this. So basically, once we paste this is going to install the node package manager stuff for us. So it's going to install TBCSS, PostCSS, and auto prefixer. If you don't have npm installed, make sure you install Node.js. Then it's going to work. Alright, so once that is done now, you can now go back and you can go ahead and do npx TBCSS init.p. This is going to create a table configuration file for us in this place. If you take a look at this place, you're going to see it. So yep, as you can see it here. So open it up, then you want to replace some stuff. So basically you can copy everything here. So you can just paste this here, save it. All right, then you can copy this and go to our app CSS. So I can do Ctrl P, then search for app.css. All right, so I can paste this right here, save. And once that is done, I can basically just head over here and do npm run dev, and it's going to serve our TBCSS and void for us. Yes, it enables void for us. So once we make a change is going to auto refresh for us. As you can see, void is actually here. Good. Once that is done now, let's go to our resources here. In our views here, let's go ahead and create a file called auth. Folder called auth, then inside the folder, we create a file called register.blade.php. So we want to make use of the register.blade.php. Once we make use of the table to design our register page. But before that, let's take a look at our env file. We have to set up our database. So I'm going to call this Laravel auth. Alright, then once this is done, let's go ahead and open up our localhost. So our localhost phpMyAdmin. Alright, so once it's open, you can just go ahead and click on new here. You can call it, I believe we call it Laravel auth. So let's just copy this. Paste this right here, and let's go ahead and click create. We're just going to create our database for us. So once that is done already, and sorry. Once that is done already, I want to go ahead and close all this. So now we can just get and do PHP artisan migrate. If you don't want to migrate it because you want to make some changes, you can go ahead and make changes ASAP, because this is going to create a migration for us like this. Our database table, name, email, and password. If you want to include username, you can go ahead and include username. No, let's just put username there. I'm going to make this username. We're going to make this unique. So the username is unique. Right, save that. Now we can go ahead and do PHP artisan migrate. So this is going to create the migration file for us. We check it out. Structure. Open users. You can see we have name, username, email, and everything, password there. So that is all for this section. In the next section, we are now going to design our register page. For this register page, what we want to do is head over Visual Studio Code. You can go ahead and close all this. Leave the register page open. And our I believe views, okay, it's not here. So in these views here, let's go ahead and create a new folder called layout. Then we can go ahead and create a file called app.blade.php. So we are just going to do this. Then before that, actually, go to your table CSS. We can actually copy this because what we need is actually there. So we have void resource app.css and hello world. So we don't want this hello world here. All we need is yield. So I have this autocomplete for Laravel. So we can use yield content, all right, and yep, that's everything we need. Then now we can go to our register blade and we can do extend. So what do we extend? We want to extend layout.app. We want to create a section. What section do we need? Content. Remember, that is the name. Go ahead and span text 5xl. Welcome. All right, so we can't see this yet, so we have to create a controller. Let's go ahead and do PHP artisan make controller. What controller are we trying to make? We're going to create authentication controller. So let's say auth controller. All right, now open auth controller. So we want to create our first method inside of it. So this method is going to be register. It's going to be register. We're going to pass in request. I mean, we can now do return view. Okay, we are going to return view. What video wants to return auth.register. So we want to do auth.register. Then once that is done, we can now go to our web.php where we have our route. Okay, now we can do it and do route get. So what do you want to get? Register page. Sorry, register page. Then we can go and do upper bracket auth controller. Select the class. Then here is we are going to point to the method that we created, which is register. And we can just go ahead and give it a name, register. All right, so save this. Now we should go to our browser, refresh. Let's first refresh this and see. So yep, it's not working. So we don't have server running. So let's run our server. PHP artisan serve. Okay, so it's running our refresh. Good. Now let's go to register. Register is loading. Now you can see table CSS is working. It's actually large now. All right, so let's just start by designing the page. So basically, this designing, I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to skip it because this is basically Laravel tutorial, not table CSS. If you want to learn table CSS, I have tutorials on my channel. All right. All right, so the login page has been register page has been created successfully. So now let's go to what we want to do. So basically, the first thing I want to change is this. I want to make this a form. So I have to change this to a form. Once it's a form now, I can go ahead and make this an action. So inside this action, I can go ahead and call route register, and the method is going to be post. The register is a name. It's the name of a route actually. So let's save that. Now what we can do is go to our web. We can just copy this, or we can call this register again. Then in this place, we're going to store register. So that's going to be the name of the method. Store register, and we can also call it register. So we basically just need to create this storage. This register is where they're going to post requests. This is just to view what we have. So initially we don't even need this in this place. So we can go ahead and do public function store register. Now we can now go ahead and pass in request here. All right. So the first one to do is validation. So let's go ahead and do request validate. Sorry, request validate. So the first one to validate is our name. Exactly. So we want to have our name should be validated. So it's going to be required is be a string and the maximum number integer of characters of 255 for me. We have username requires string. It must be an email address and it is unique to the user. And remember, we need the last thing, which is username. Actually, we're going to make this username is going to be the same thing as the email. So we want a string, but we don't want email because username cannot be an email. So basically, this is what we want. And this is also a confirm password. We don't have confirm password. We can just remove that. And yeah, we should be good to go. Meaning, if I should go back to the register page, you can now show this error. So basically, I can do something like error. So what error? The name of our error, which is name. Yeah, as you can see, then we can now go ahead and do span.text. Red should be 500. I should do message here, right? So we're not going to pass a message there. If I should go to my Chrome, refresh this should work now. Oh, I don't know if this it exists now. One last thing, we need to change this, so we can just call it post. Sorry, let's call this post register. All right, so yep, and that should work. So let's refresh this and let's go ahead and click register. So say post register is not supported for the route post. Let's go ahead and edit it. So let's try something like underscore instead. Sorry. Now you can see it's working now. Now we're having 404 page not found. So let's try this again. So let's click register. It's not supported for the method. Oh yes. I mean, we can even return it back to the register actually. Yeah, I think I've seen my mistake. We have to make this a post request. Sorry about that. But actually, I just made that post request. So if send this, we have an error that says page expired, meaning we are getting closer. So page expired here, we just have to add a CRS token, CSRF token. Now we can go back to register page. Now click on register. You can see we have the name field is required. So basically, we can now go ahead and include this in all our fields. So sorry, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to include it here. So in this case, it's going to be username. Then in this case, it's going to be email address. And in this case, it's going to be password. All right, so let's save that. It's going to refresh that for us. So let's get and register. So we have our error working now. Good. Now in the next section, we're now going to create a method to register our user. Good. So once that one is done now in our auto controller now, basically what we need to do is just do user is equals to user. So this is going to import our user. We have to import it at the top. You can see now we have user models. You can now say user model create. So what do you want to create? You want to pass in name should be equals to request input name. And basically I don't like using this request input. Actually, I just like using the normal one. They're actually same to, but I just like using the normal one. And this one is using the autocomplete use bytecode for me. So I like using hash. So I'm going to say hash make. So once you use hash make, it's going to import facade hash for you. So that's like password hash, like to hash your passwords. So we can do if user is actually created. So is it true? Yeah, it is true if user is actually created. Now you can go ahead and do return session user created. So instead of using this request session this thing, we are going to do session flash. Alright. So we are going to do else something where it went wrong, exactly what we need, and yep, we should be good to go. I want to actually, okay, I think we should be good to go. Now in our head here, start this register, we can go ahead and do at if session as status. Remember the name is status here. If there is status there, we can go ahead and do div padding of 3, w should be full, rounded md, text should be white. We can go ahead and do bg blue 100. I'm gonna do font bold. So we can go ahead and do session. Instead of session like this, we're going to do session get status. And we don't need this. And here we can go ahead and do end if. Alright, so it's as simple as ABC. Now let's go back, refresh this. Let's go ahead and create a user. So I'm going to use this form filler here. I'll click register. Now we have an error that says username doesn't have a default value. Alright, so that means in our auth controller username is not being saved. Request username. Yeah, meaning if you go to your user model here, we have to pass in username here. Alright, so that is done. We can go back, use the form filler again and click register. And we got nothing. So if I should check this, you can see the user is actually created. Let's go back there. Alright, so let's go ahead. So the issue there now is we just did session. So to make this work, what we can do is can do return back. So I want it to return back with okay, so the same way we are going to do for the other one. We're going to do return back with the session message. So let's refresh this again. Form filler is this. So we have undefined constant session. Oh yes, it's actually undefined. Has to be this. Okay, so it's not showing again, so let's just do it for the last time. And let's click register. Like I see, you are successfully registered. Good. Now let's check the validation, like email and username that's already been using. So I'm just going to grab this email here. I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to fill the form. So I'm basically going to fill the form and paste the email here. Click register. See, email has already been taken already. Good. So there's one thing we can actually do again. You notice that after you got this email, everything disappeared. We don't want that. We want them to be able to just leave it rather than retyping everything. So what we can do now is head over to value. We can go ahead and do old name. So this is like a session. All right. So if you should refresh this, and again, let's go ahead and do form filler. Let me put the email that's already been registered with register. You can see the name is still there. As you can see, so you can edit the name if it's the name that is incorrect or whatever. So we can just go ahead and give this to the username, but we're not going to give it to the password because we don't want the password to be sessioned. We're going to leave it to the username, and we're going to leave it to the email. Okay, and yep, so we should be good to go. All right, so we are done with this. So the next session we're going to be looking at how to create the login page. All right, now so for the login, I've created the method already and I linked it to the auth login. And this auth login here is basically the same thing as the register. All I did was remove the name, email, and just left the password and username and password. Then in the web PHP, remember, then I head over and do get request login pointed to it. Now if I should go to my route, I should be able to visit login as expected, as you can see now. So I just need to change what thing I'm seeing now, which is at the top here is going to be login. Now for this route here, we're going to change this to login and go to our web PHP. We need our post login. We're going to do login again. Then we're going to just do post login because we're not storing anything in this case. We're going to do post login, and yep, everything should be okay. Now, right under here, we're going to create a method called post login. This is going to be request. All right, so we're going to validate. So for the validation here, we can just grab this one. We can just grab all this one basically, and we don't even need most of them. So we'll just do validate, paste this. We don't need this email. We want required and string, and we don't need all this one. And also, yeah, we want just that. So once that is done, you are going to see the error because we've done that already. So let me refresh this. Okay, post login does not exist here because we need to change this to a post request. Save that. It's going to change to post request. It's working. I can see that if it is required and so on. So once that is done already, what we cannot do is go ahead and do user. And we can see user. So we're going to say select user where the username is equal to this username that we're passing. We're going to pick the first user. So we're not going to do if not user or hash check. So this hash check is going to take in the value and the hash value. So hashtag request password. So basically we are doing if there's no user like this, or maybe the password of that user does not match the username. Maybe you put the right username and your password is incorrect. So if it is false, we are just going to do return back with status message wrong username or password. All right, so you can save this, and this should actually work now because if I should go ahead and put in wrong stuff and I click login, you should see wrong username or password now, which is working fine. And once everything is actually okay, then we can now go ahead and do authentication. Instead of using this session, I can do auth login, I believe. So auth login, who do you want to log in? Want to log in the user. All right, now we can now not direct back. We need to create our login page. So views here, we're going to create home.blade.php. So in this place, I'm going to extend layout.app. I'm going to pick in section. So section is going to be content. And yeah, I'm just going to do design this a little bit. Let's say div w should be full, rounded, and the paragraph of 3, and let's give the shadow MD, and that should be okay. We can now do welcome. Now in our we can now go ahead and create a new controller. We can do PHP artisan make controller home controller. So once we have home controller, now we can basically just point to index. We can do return view home, which is that one there. We can go to our web PHP here. We can go ahead and do route get. So we don't want this. We want to have home. This is going to be home controller. This is going to be index, and this is also going to be home. All right, good. So once this is done now, so basically you can just do return redirect to I'm trying to figure out the one I will actually use. I want to use the route name, so I want to see if I can use the route name. Return redirect to route. Okay, so we are going to call this home. All right, good. and we don't have any error now, so you can refresh this. And I can copy this mail. If you want the username actually, so I can copy this username, and I set it for my form field that every password is equals to password. So you can go ahead and click login. I have wrong username or password. Why? Password. Is it not password? I'm coming. Let me cross check this. So once see even a user username equals to this equals password user password. Okay. All right, looking at it, I believe it's because of this auth login. So let's uncheck that and let's go back to our browser and refresh this. So let's get our login password. I can see now we've successfully logged in, and let's go ahead and do one last thing, which is basically in our home. Now we can go ahead and do something like this. I see auth user, then we're going to pick the name of the user to refresh this. Now you can see we have attempt to view property name or not. Meaning the reason why is because this logged in just went through, but I didn't actually session our user. So we need to fix that. All right, so I believe for this case, what we can do is let's get and remove this. Actually, so we can use Laravel auth attempt. So basically, that's what we're going to do. I thought that was we're going to create a token when I was doing that, because that is basically where you do it if you are creating a token in Laravel, like an API. So we are going to do auth attempts. Then this auth attempt is going to create accept the credentials. We have user. So basically, that is what we want to pass in. For now, we can go ahead and pass in user. So in this case, we're not going to do auth attempt. We're going to do if not auth attempt. To save this, now we can go back to our login page. Now if I should go ahead and input the password. All right, now you can see we have must be a type of an array. All right, so basically we are not passing an array, so we have to go back to our Visual Studio Code. We have to pass in an array here. Meaning we actually don't need this again also. So what we need to do is request only. We want to request the username and the password. All right, so refresh this and let's go ahead and try it again. Password, enter. You can see we have our user logged in already. Very easy. So the next one to do now is basically the logout system, which is also easy to do. So we can go to our welcome page, home page. I mean, I can just div. Let's make this a grid. So a grid, then gap of 3. Then here we can just have a button. No, not a button actually. Let's use a href. I'll say logout. All right, then we can go ahead and do class text blue 500. All right, so we should check this out. You can see we have logout there. Maybe the text blue of 500 is not working. All right, you know what? We just skip that part now. We are not focused on DVCSS. Let's just go ahead and do what we want to do. So here we are now going to point into route logout. All right, now we are going to go to our web.php. I'm going to go to our web.php. I'm just going to copy this, and this is going to be logout. So let's go to auth controller, create a method called logout. I have request. So you can have request there. Then once request is there now, oh wait, we don't actually need this request. This request is like for a post request. We don't need request. The first thing I want to do is I want to flush the session. So let's say first session flush. So every session that is available should be deleted. I want to go ahead and do auth logout. Now we'll redirect the user to login page. Simple as ABC. Do I need to import session? I believe so. And what is the error I'm getting here? Flush should not be called. Okay, I think the one I used to import was something like this. So you can go ahead and do session flush like this. All right, very good. So I'll refresh this and let's click logout. You can see we've successfully logged out now. And there's actually something we can do. Taking a look at this, and basically I can go to the home controller and I can do construct. It's supposed to autocomplete. Let's do polyfunctional construct. Then here we are now going to do this middleware authentication. So basically this should work. So if I should go to home, you should be directed back to the login. So we have to log in to be able to access it. So let's go to password. And we can access it. And we can see, go to home, we can see access it. Alright, so basically if you like this tutorial, please make sure you like, subscribe. See you next time. Peace.